Previously on Unbalanced Encounters.
Bartleby, are you okay? Also, it's good to see you again. Also, that's Pancake. Also, and then I'm gonna lean in really close. I hope that you're doing well on your mission to steal something from Reevesy. But also, don't steal anything from Pancake. And I'm gonna point at Pancake.
Tents, shacks set up for laundry, and through it all, people, or the shadowed remnants thereof. Some with pikes on their shoulders, others restringing bows.
Safra, I know you can't see this right now, but it's incredible because there are a lot of your spectral ancestors here.
I am one of you. We mean no harm. Lay down your arms.
Are you wearing the helmet?
Yes.
Time will replay itself, child. I cannot stop it. But I may buy you a moment of time. Make good use of it, girl. Something tells me we will not get another chance. Hello, one and all, and welcome to another episode of Unbalanced Encounters, the only show that dares to ask how far back does the generational trauma go. I'm your host, Patrick Perini. Say hi, everybody, but Craig, who stepped away from his microphone at the worst possible time.
You literally could have just
Oh, damn. I was going to do
said it
your
right.
voice.
And I was right there.
I love it. I love it.
Craig, you got your brekkie?
Now people know. I was sprinting. I was sprinting. I was gonna make it. And now the whole world knows.
I've outed your secret.
Guys, every time before the recording, I do a 5K.
Yep.
And I have my headphones on and my mic's all set up. And then immediately when Patrick starts the timer, I am right there on time, good to go. But he just wanted
asses in seats.
He wanted to call me out this week because, I didn't make my usual.
He was off by about 6 seconds.
Yeah. 5 minute 5K. 5 minute 5Ks, it takes a lot of training, and I need to do better, honestly.
Yeah, you'll get there. 5:05 is really not bad, but I
when you say it out loud like that, it's just really upsetting. So can we not?
Yeah, all right. All right. Okay.
It's just a lot of bowls of cereal to have right before recording. 5K?
Who eats K?
What the fuck is K?
It's this
Like
it's a
Special K?
cereal. It's like Kellogg's. Yeah.
It's Special K. Yeah.
We have Special K. We have Special K. I didn't know if
It's
it was
it's the
same
regular
thing.
version of that.
We don't need it to
You
be
have a
special.
regular version of
Yeah.
Special K?
And we just call it
It
K.
is Special K.
You're basic bitches.
Special K. What are you
Absolutely
You
not.
may
What
call
are
it
you
Special
guys
K, but
talking
to
about?
me,
Taz, it's just
K.
regular. It's just K. It's K.
Okay. It's like passive aggressively agreeing as a cereal.
What are we doing?
You started this. You started this bit by calling me out on the internet.
What
you
have I
started
done?
this bit.
What hath the gods wrought? Speaking of what hath the gods wrought, if I recall correctly, you all are currently in one, and Harissa is in like a liminal space talking to another smaller
My great-grandmother.
her great-grandmother, which is not loaded in any way at all. No expectation there. No weird, nothing weird. The vibes were super chill, honestly.
Yeah.
She was really understanding of kind of your whole thing with, throwing your mother's corpse into a pool and then it got eaten by a crystal worm. Totally chill with that. Totally fine on the level. Kind of got where you were coming from. Really, sort of big camp counselor vibes. I think if I recall correctly, very supportive.
She's pretty chill. Actually, I
Hey,
was surprised.
kiddo. Hey, kiddo.
We need to talk.
Hey, kiddo. Let's take a seat. Let's hang out.
All right, Harissa will just compartmentalize that and never.
Well, you're going to be thinking about it at least for another second, because we're still in that conversation. We sort of cut at the peak there. But she has just informed you. She's just informed you that she will do what she can to bide you a moment of time. It seems as if these ghosts, these Tinian shades, are replaying their existences or moments from their existences kind of over and over again. The physicality is changing slightly depending on the stimulus, but they are not able to really think about what's happening. They are simply performing kind of that loop over and over again. But your great-grandmother, Chief Selwa Araksa, believes that she can buy you a moment of time. And she makes a gesture. You see that she kind of lifts her staff up and is going to bring it down onto the ground. You have a moment if there's anything else you want to say to her before she breaks this trance conversation.
Oh my goodness. I love you. Thank you. And then that's what I'd...
Give me an insight check.
If ever you get a chance to talk to your ancestors, knowing that you're probably one of the few that's still standing to this day, make sure you say I love you.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's not a bad.
That's not a bad play.
Good.
This is some like real life advice from Safra Harissa. What was that roll?
14. So love you, bye. Yeah.
The look on her face of deep inscrutability melts into shock and confusion. She rolled a 5 on a deception check to maintain composure. And so you see that as her face starts to dissolve ink in thick black air, you see genuine regret play across her scowl. Was that what was missing?
Regret?
Love.
And in that moment, Safra, you readily connect to the idea that this was not something that you heard from your mother almost ever. And that despite how much she demonstrated care for you, this was not something you heard from your grandmother. She vanishes. June, you're standing next to Sphinx and Harissa in this space, watching all of these Tinian ghosts bear arms against you. What is your passive insight?
13.
As you see Safra start to move slightly, she's been very still for the last few seconds as she has this pocket dimension conversation with her ancestor. She starts to move, and you immediately go into tactical awareness. You start to glance around the battlefield. It is entirely possible that all of these ghosts are going to descend on you in the next, 2 seconds. And you breathe, focus, and your eyes clear, and you see a single strand of bond connect each one of these ghosts to a myriad of positions throughout this room. And you follow one of them, just someone who your eye settles on in the crowd, down to the ground and see a small pile of bones. And then, Safra, your eyes kind of roll back from back in your head. You sort of work back into your body, and it is dark, right? There's no light in this space. You are back to being blind. But June, with your dark vision, you immediately see all of these ghosts vanish. They are gone. You all have 1 minute.
Oh, shit.
Safra, what'd you do?
What?
They're all gone.
She said she would give us just 1 minute. We need to make the most of it.
All right.
So I'm gonna pull us back here a little bit. I want to talk about what we know.
Thank you.
You all have been led to believe that there is a way out beneath the acid waterfall at the far edge of the acid lake. There's a lake kind of at the edge of this cavern. It's probably 60, I forget exactly what we said, but it's probably about 60 feet to the waterfall. And there seems to be a dark patch of water, a hole possibly, that some of this acid is pouring out of that could be a way to escape this space. It is the only way out that you have seen so far. You are not sure how to get there. You have been separated. Isaac is at the edge of the lake with Bartleby and Reevesy. Safra, Spinks, and June are now standing in the middle of a now empty clearing. And you all see Guard, Scrumpy, and Safra's father.
Up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get it up. 2, 3, 4. Get it up. 2, 3, 4.
Making their way toward you, and I think I would like to start with Guard. So here's how I want to do this. You all are going to get one kind of meaningful thing that you get to do within this minute, right? You're going to tell me how you're going to spend this 1 minute of time. So we're going to start with Guard, just for a beat of initial reaction. Guard, how do you react when all of these ghosts vanish?
Okay, I think we can walk normal. And I let go of Grumpy, and then I fly over to Isaac and to Bartleby and to Reevesy. Guys, look who I found! Guys, look who I found! Guys, look who I found! And then I fly over to everybody.
It's the last stand,
June, look
gentlemen.
who I found! June, Harissa, look who I found!
Scrumpy?
I can't see.
It's your dad!
That's Isaac over there. God, were we not really concerned about the ghosts, or what's the situation there?
Well, I don't see them anymore. And out of sight, out of mind.
For a minute.
We have
All right.
1 minute to get to that waterfall. We need to do it now. I think I'm just going to cast Locate Object for Spinks to find a boat.
I technically you have to be familiar with the object, but I will give you if you want to make a history check. I could potentially give you a history check at advantage for burning the spell slot. You also can't see, so right now I would say you might want to help. You might want to wait until somebody can help you potentially see, because even if Spinks can find it, you might not necessarily know how to follow him, unless you just want to send Spinks off to do it.
I'm just gonna find a fence or something, snap a piece of wood off of it, take a flannel out my laundry bag, wrap it around, and just stick it on the brazier.
Oh, you're putting a torch.
Yeah.
You're putting a torch. You just you reach down and you just pick up a piece of fucking a piece of wood that came off of one of these shacks 80 years ago and is just tinder, right? You wrap it in the flannel, not so that it just doesn't explode into flame in your hand, right?
They're durable.
Amazing. Let me go ahead and get that history check at advantage from Harissa.
It was only an 11, so...
No way to juice that? Anybody have anything that they could throw on top of that? Guidance or anything?
Oh, yeah, I can do guidance. I'm magical. Guidance.
It's a D4 on top of that.
Get the big 4.
I got a 2, so that's a 13.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if that's
a little
helpful
better.
at
That's a
all.
little better. That's a little better. Harissa, you scan this encampment, desperately trying to remember stories and history given to you by your grandmother, and there's nothing. There are no stories about this place from your grandmother. And then you feel Guard kind of tap you on the shoulder, pull you out of your preconceived expectations, and you remember a lesson from your mother about the layout of this space and the way that the Tanin would organize their military encampments. And as bittersweet as that is, you run your torch, do west of your current position, just barely make out in an ancient Tanine script. Boathouse.
Amazing. There, a boathouse. There's got to be something in there we can use.
Hopefully,
And she's gonna grab as many people as she can up onto Sphinx if they are nearby and scoot and poodle over very quickly to.
Scoot poodle. I'm sorry.
All right, I'm going to put June into that and say that you all get over to this boathouse. It's basically like a shed, right? It's an open-doored, small building filled with these effectively canoes.
Grab a few oars, throw them to the little ones, so they can double up on those. And then Isaac will grab a boat and then realize he is the only one who can possibly do this.
I think,
shit. Mr. Spinks.
Sphinx will definitely.
June's hanging off the middle, feet off the ground.
I'm helping.
I'm
All
helping.
while this is happening, Guard is just looking at the brazier that the ghostly fellers were standing around. Guys, I think this could work as a boat. Guys, I'll take the brazier. And you guys watch as Guard for about 30 seconds tries to like physically interact with it and sort of like
You can fly.
wave through it / not be able to move it at all.
Just let him enjoy it. Let him enjoy it. We gotta go though. We gotta go
The
soon.
strength of my guardianhood shall lift this. Never mind. I fly over you.
You're doing great, buddy.
You all reconvene at the far western edge of this lake, and you put the boat down into the acid and immediately smell dissolving wood. The acid is going to eat this boat. You all kind of roughly estimate in about 30 seconds, which is roughly how much time you have left to get there without the ghosts.
I would like to ask the floaty boys, Mr. Spinks, God, can you speed us up? I don't think this boat's gonna last very long when we start.
Yes,
Hold
we
on.
are the strongest.
Just like speedboating towards.
So Spinks has no problem doing this like whatsoever. He's flying, he's pushing.
Guard is pushing Sphinx.
Right.
It's like when you see like men with like chains pulling
Men.
boats, and then you see like a little kid pulling on their pant leg behind them to try to help them.
I am going to give Spinks an athletics check here.
Okay.
And he is going to get the help action from Guard.
I believe in you, Mr. Spinks.
I rolled 2 2s.
It does take you the full 30 seconds to get to this waterfall, and you
There's a
pull
lot of
this
people
boat
in this
up.
boat.
The oars, by the time you get there, are fully dissolved. The bottom of the boat is getting perilously thin. You can feel liquid kind of beneath it. You can actually see that the like wood skin kind of undulates in places because
Pulling
it's
my
become
feet up
so
like,
thin.
whoa.
And you get up alongside this waterfall, and it is gnarly. It smells awful. It is bile hot and splashing. As a matter of fact, all of you take 1 point of acid damage as a fine mist settles on your exposed skin. As you're closer now, you can see that most of the acid from this waterfall is actually going straight down into a winding tunnel beneath the surface, and the rest of this lake is also sort of draining into this hole.
I've got an idea. What if we flip the boat and use it to cover us?
June, a spectral arrow whips past your head into the waterfall and
Jesus, they're
dissolves. You turn around and cannot see anything because it's more than 60 feet.
June, I need you to understand, if we flip the boat, then we are in the acid.
We're gonna be in the acid.
Should we flip the boat, or should we leave it right side up, but put it under the waterfall so all the waterfall fills the boat instead of crashes on us?
What are we doing after we're in said acid? That's the thing.
We
I'm
charge
trying to figure out.
forward and never worry about anything else.
Oh, because we just know what's happening after this acid. It's just a big old exit sign, and then it's like, see you.
I offer myself as tribute, and then dives in.
Sphinx is going into the acid waterfall.
Yeah, he's gonna dive down.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw from Mr. Spinks. You are trying to beat a DC 13.
Oh, I rolled a 13 with the +2 is a 15. Thank
Good.
God. Thank
Fantastic.
God. As soon as you said, I was like,
Spinks takes 8 points of acid damage. Spinks disappears. You don't have telepathy with him. You have no way of knowing whether or not he. You know whether or not he died because you could resummon him.
I can help. I see the worry in Harissa's eyes, and I say, Harissa, don't worry. I can save the day. And I point down with my finger, and I cast message, and I say,
there it is.
And I say, Mr. Spinks, are you alive? And are you having fun? And should we come down? Also, there's guys that are ghost shooting arrows at us.
oh, come on in. The water is fine.
Spinks obviously has been fully submerged in this acid. Can't really see anything until, and he's like whipping around. And honestly, the whole experience for him is a lot like being at a water park, right? Like it's very, like there's loop-de-loops and he's like going up and over, like, head over tail kind of situation. Whoa. Eventually explodes out into another smaller acid pond, I think we'll call it, in a room that, unlike almost any other that you've been in so far, is not made of bone. It is instead made of soft, loamy gore.
Ugh.
He has dark vision, right?
Yeah.
He sees movement off toward the end of whatever this room is, but it's too far away for him to perceive color or shape. But he is able to get out of the acid, and then he gets the message.
Okay, he's gonna shake himself like a dog that's just gotten out of a pond. Oh, I did okay. It's gonna sting a bit, but you can make it through. It'll be okay. Hurry up, though. It's kind of gross this end.
Okay, so everybody, Mr. Spinks said we're all gonna get hurt, but it's all gonna be okay, and it's gonna be gross. Ready, set, go!
I guess I'll cast Bless on our old men.
Cool. So I'm going to need con saves from everyone as you all contemplate diving down this
I'm getting ready.
tunnel. This is all going to be DC 13.
+3.
Everybody gets a +3, and we're going to do all of the NPCs kind of last.
I got a 16.
Yeah, 15.
22.
Nice.
10. I have a +4 to my con save, even in this form. I thought I'd be fine.
Okay, who got less than a 13?
Wait, no. I had +3. I got exactly a 13.
Okay, so you all got 13 or higher?
I think so.
I got a
10.
15.
You all
Plus
take
3.
11 points of acid damage.
That is...
Yes.
All right, I am down to 9 hit points.
Oh, no.
We are going to go ahead and roll for the NPCs. Reevesy rolls a nat 20.
Oh, nice. He's fine.
Oh.
He's a god.
He's
Bartleby
okay.
rolls a 15.
Yay.
I told you.
Scrumpy or Harris first?
Safra, that's your dad.
Let's do Scrumpy first.
Scrumpy first. Okay, Scrumpy gets a -1 plus a D4 to this roll. That's a 19 on the dice.
Nice. He's good.
Hey.
He's good.
So an 18 total. He's fine. Harris gets a +1 plus a D4 to this roll.
Okay. Come on, Papa.
Roll the D4 first. That's a 4.
Oh
So-
my god.
He only needs
Just
to
needs a
roll
nine.
a 9.
Or an 8.
An 8. He only needs to roll an 8. That's a 2.
2 plus what? 4?
2 plus 4 is 6, plus 1 is 7.
7.
failure.
Yeah, even with my +3, that's only a
Oh,
10.
8, 9, 10. But
We're doing some Baldur's Gate level of stacking.
Oh, we
Yeah,
tried.
yeah,
We tried.
yeah. Oh god.
all right. He's going to go ahead and take the full 23 points. Everyone else takes 11.
I actually end up taking 5. I forgot I'm resistant to acid damage. So I don't have 9 hit points. I have 15.
Nice.
Was I capable of seeing Harris's struggles in the acid?
Yeah, I don't see why not, as you were kind of getting in.
Isaac's a badass. He's making sure everybody's safe. If I see Harris like through this struggle, like he's like lagging behind and burning, I'm gonna reach out for him and I'm gonna give him 10 points to lay on hands.
Okay. Go ahead and burn those 10 points of lay on hands. He is still up. All of your NPCs and your rather large party for this game emerges into the heart. The ground is made of blood-soaked muscle, thudding slightly in time.
Is it like being in one of those inflatable kind of like funhouse castle type things, like, you know, bouncy house?
No.
Except it's fleshy. It
There's no
beats
joy here.
Like a heart.
What Patrick
You have
is
to
No
take off
way.
your shoes. Take off your shoes when you're
That's a
entering
choice.
the
God damn.
bouncy house hot thing.
Ugh, that's a choice. You all clamor out of this acid, shaking it off, doing everything that you can to rid yourself of it, sustaining surprisingly minor injury for how fraught that situation was. Harissa, your respect paid to your forebearers, quite literally saving the lives of your friends and your father, has come to pay off as you find yourselves in the place that you believe you need to be. And for those of you who have dark vision, as you start to kind of clear your eyes of acid and take in this space, you see that it is a little bit of a fold. A little bit of a hall has been created here. And if you go just a little bit to the north, you see that it switches back and opens up into a larger atrium. And you can see that there's something in the center of that room. You can't quite make out what without proceeding.
Well, I don't want to worry anybody, but there was something moving at the back of this room.
Was it a nice thing or a mean thing?
I do not know. My eyes
Excuse
were kind
me?
of acidy.
Hold on.
Are you a nice
guard.
thing or a mean thing?
Immediately covering
God.
guard's mouth.
Guard, can you go ahead and roll me a persuasion check, if you'd be so kind?
Disadvantage. No, let's
14. I can guidance myself if need be.
You can if you want. It's up
15.
to you. Okay. All right, a 15? Okay. I need everyone to make me a dexterity saving throw, DC 27.
Oh
Okay,
my
well, I
God.
failed because I don't have a +7.
Yeah,
All of the NPCs fail. You all, as guard reaches out to whatever this creature is, see filigree on the inside musculature of this heart, boom, beat, and a net whips up beneath all of your feet, and you are all caught in it.
I seep out of the bottom.
You know what? A fair fucking cop.
Hey, who has their hand on? Be careful now where you put your hands, people.
Guys, be careful. You guys all got stuck in a net.
I'm gonna kill you again, guard.
As you are all sort of flummoxed by this net, I think Guard is the first one to look up toward the ceiling of this space, and through your dark vision, you see something kind of spider crawling on the ceiling. Mm-hmm. It is made largely of bone, but when I say that, I don't want you to think of a sort of a homogeneous figure of bone. I mean, it is like you see the arms of a large lizard nailed into planks, bound with rotting sinew, built into a carved stone chest with small human ankles as sort of the hip bones of the back legs, and a fractured dragon's skull as a head, which turns 180 degrees and says, "What the hell are you doing here? Why the fuck can't I get rid of you?"
Do I know you? I start casting Sacred Flame, and it turns into a little axe that I'm ready to throw.
That's so fucking good. This thing lets go of the wall and is holding on just by one hand, almost gecko-like glued to the side, and then drops down, and you see that it is standing very hunched. The proportion of this thing is almost kind of like gorilla-like, where it has like kind of a smaller kind of hind section and a very large torso with long arms. And then it stands to a full 9.5 feet tall. And it reaches out, and you see one crystalline finger jab at your chest.
Hey,
You're not supposed to be here. None of you are supposed to be here.
that might be true, but we are. Now prepare to do battle or explain yourself.
No, let us out. Let us out.
She reaches down, grabs your sacred flame, and throws it across the room.
Oh, shit.
Oh. Then be prepared to explain yourself.
I have
love
all
it
the power in this situation. Individual.
Guard, you feel this hand close in around your spectral form and lift you off the ground. This thing can interact with you despite you being ethereal. Lifts you further off the ground and says, "You, explain yourself."
My name is Guard, and I don't remember exactly why we're here, but these are my friends, and we need to stop the Emperor, and there's something wrong with the turtle, and there's a bunch of ghosts that we were running from, and I died, but I'm back, and give me my little axe back, please.
Because you used the word please, you see her demeanor soften just a little bit. And she reaches out her other hand, slams it into the meat of this wall. You see all of the filigree illuminate in sort of a bronze radiance as she casts Zone of Truth on all of you. I need you to all make me a DC 20 Wisdom saving throw.
+3.
Oh, shit.
You can all voluntarily fail if you want.
Yeah, sure.
You think Isaac's gonna volunteer to tell the truth?
Yeah, I
Hell no.
failed anyways.
Okay.
That's a 21 from Isaac.
Sphinx failed, but Harissa did get a 20. High five in the net.
High five. We keep our secrets.
Her head turns 180 degrees around to pivot to face you all, and then 180 degrees around just to be upside down.
Oh, God.
And you can see through one of the fractured eyes of this skull a little reflection of glass in this extremely low light space. And she says, "I will hear nothing from any of you." Back to Guard.
What is with all the hot grandmas today?
Guard,
Yes.
this creature, again, standing to its full height, whips its head back in your direction, locks eyes with you, and you see through that skull the shattered fragment of a glass owl face. It looks like a piece of stained glass on the interior. And she says, "You mean to tell me you know nothing about the seed?"
I'm going to try to stick my face through the eye socket of the bone and look at the face underneath the bone.
Bold?
I love that.
What are we rolling here?
Personal space boundaries.
Yeah, roll for personal
Investigation
space.
check, I think.
Don't ever do this to people you want to talk to the first time you meet them.
15.
Guard, you kind of shrink down and peer your spectral head into this skull and are an inch away from the stained glass facade.
Wait a minute. I think I know you. There's pictures of you under the place that Isaac likes to fight people when he's sad and or
Hey,
happy.
Whoa. Don't put me into this.
Also, the seed. I think there was something with a seed. I don't remember. Guys, was there a seed thing? And then I look back to it. I'm sorry. Ever since I died, it's very hard for me to focus on things.
You are slammed into the back wall.
Ow.
My objective is to protect the seed. You have been poking around where you don't belong. You have one chance to answer directly and honestly. Are you here for the seed?
I don't remember if we're supposed to be here for it, but I do feel like it's important. I also feel like you're really scary, and I also feel like we are probably on the same page in terms of the things that we want that are good overall. But I genuinely don't remember what we're doing with the seed.
Without letting go of guard, she spins her head around again, locks eyes with June, and says, "You answer. Are you here for the seed?"
We're trying to help Jonathan.
You know nothing about the seed.
Can you please let us just take us out of this net? We can sit down.
Answer! Her voice splits like 5 for 1, and Harissa, you recognize it as the voice that caused the fear at the entrance of this cave.
Interesting.
We are trying to help Jonathan. We're trying to set things right. You cannot tell us that you don't see that there are things happening within this god that are not supposed to be happening.
You are correct, but I have a singular objective. I need to understand how you intersect with that objective.
Are you a guardian?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I'm a guardian.
Yes.
Did you know? Have you met Pancake?
Yes.
They're a guardian.
Yes.
This is such massive mama bird and baby bird in a nest vibes, and I love it so
Safra
much.
from like upside down in this net is gonna sort of like put a hand up, but it's actually kind of like sticking down. Excuse me,
You succeeded on the save. Don't lie.
I have spoken to Jonathan. There are forces that will destroy him who are seeking this seed.
The Myconids.
No,
Not the Myconids. Something much more dangerous. Using the Myconids.
Persuasion check, and I'm going to give you advantage with both guard and June.
Look at my charisma being a -1. Woo.
it's okay. You have
Alright.
advantage.
I love that our heavy charisma boy was just like, I don't know what's happening.
Listen, there's something about a strong woman just taking charge of a conversation kind of throws Isaac off. I'm gonna be honest with you.
It's a 14.
She drops guard, whips her hand, and you can see that it has like a polished beveled edge she uses to cut the net down. And all of you fall to the ground, taking 1 point of falling damage.
Isaac, get off me! And he's for once, it's the other way around.
Sorry.
An act of good faith. Temporarily extended until you can explain how you intersect with my objective.
Truthfully, I don't really know what the seed is. All I know is that it is powerful enough for the Empressor to want it so badly they will destroy Jonathan to get it.
The infection.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. I don't know what's going on with my voice.
Ma'am.
Could you explain to us what your objective is? Really quick. I'm genuinely curious. Is it just to protect the seed? Just protect it at all costs?
Yes.
She does the God thing where it's very simple, straightforward answers. Okay, I can work with this. All right, madam,
Matron.
sorry. We know that there's an individual out there who has been dealing with Jonathan in a very invasive manner, and Jonathan sent us to make sure that your job is successful in protecting the seed.
Deception check.
Is that true?
Is that true?
No.
That's total bullshit. Ew, that's the 12.
She did not roll very well. I got a 3 on the die.
What's she have, a plus 20?
Not to this. You have a guardian. What is your objective?
My objective Well, I don't know what it used to be, but then it became to protect Raleigh, and now it's to kill the Emperor, I think.
And you say the Emperor wants the seed?
Yes. To do bad things, and I wiggle my fingers ominously.
There are no good things that one could do with the seed beyond restoration.
Oh, restoration. Is it doing that right now?
No.
Do you mean that the seed can restore something, or the seed needs a restoring?
The seed needs restoring.
Do you know how to do that? Maybe we can help?
No.
When did you start, Matron? When did your job start? When were you hired to protect this seed?
Protecting the seed began approximately 60 years ago, when it was delivered here by a Krakow woman. She's dead now.
Isaac's gonna look over to Horace. Do you know of this Guardian's objective?
Bro, I have no fucking clue what the hell is going on right now.
I want to look at both the old folks.
Scrumpy is looking a little sunken. Excuse me, Matron, what was the Krakow woman's name? I don't remember. She was not particularly useful. She died of starvation very quickly.
People do that all the time.
It's really unhelpful.
It's completely unhelpful.
Now I'm hungry.
Listen.
She's over there. And she points into sort of the larger room with the atrium. And you all walk in and you find yourselves in a vast, largely barren space. Along the outside lip, you see piles of what look like, at first glance, craft projects that then get more and more disgusting and off-putting the longer you look at them. Traps that look at a first glance to be made out of porcelain are instead made out of bone. Nets that are being woven out of matted and blood-soaked animal fur. Deeply unpleasant projects. And bodies. Lots and lots of bodies. Myconids, humanoid bones, and corpses. Guard, if you could please give me the better of a perception or an investigation check. I'm going to give you something specific, but as you're doing that, the rest of you trace around the room and center in on a dais. A little outgrowth of muscle gently supporting what looks like an egg. And this, too, is covered in viscera. It is gaunt and looks almost dehydrated. It is pitted in places that make you itch kind of uncomfortably. It is a sallow, dried blood color. But it is beating. Guard, what'd you roll?
I rolled quite well. I got an 18.
On an 18, you see where she's pointing. You see the skeleton of a Goliath woman wearing an intricately filigreed chest piece.
Mm-hmm.
It's Big Paul's ancestor.
And you all hear Scrumpy under his breath go, "Fuck me running."
Are you right, Scrumpy? Do you know her?
I used to look after this thing when it was quite a bit smaller and I suppose quite a bit younger. I stumbled upon it. It was being transported by Imperial forces. And they had captured me again. I've had my run-ins. It seemed too important, so I got it out. I hid it in a cavern outside Valenka, if any of you are familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And, a Tanine man I met there. As Amin, may the gods rest his soul, took it upon himself to help find some people who could help me get it out of there. It wasn't safe. The Imperial forces were closing in. They were just trying again and again and again. Paula and a few others, Lambert and Renan and... What did you say your name was? And he's looking right at Reevesy. My name's Reevesy Hopperswallow. Alright, that's a coincidence that I don't fully understand. We're gonna unpack that another time. They helped fight off some folks who killed Aza and get the egg out. When we got to the Eastern Hills, we were under such hot pursuit that we needed to create a diversion. Lambert went back to Valenka, and I went north to the Western Wealds. Paula said she would make it safe, that she knew a hidden place, a sacred place. I guess this is it. I don't know why the Empress wants this so badly, but they do, and they've killed for it. They'd do just about anything to get it. I have thoughts. I think it's a... Well, you said it was a seed. A seed of a... And then Matron looks at him and says, God.
Can I go over to the seed? And I want to kind of go into a meditative state and read the bonds of the room and see if they interconnect with the seed and what else it connects to.
We're going to take a minute to do this. Go ahead and give me an insight check, and I am going to give you just a flat plus 10 to this roll.
Ooh, plus 10. Okay.
Oh boy.
You are
Man,
in a very sacred space. This is a good place to do something like this.
Okay. Well, that's a 16.
Okay. Does anyone want to try to help her in any way? Does anyone want to support her in any way? Or are we going to let that 16 ride?
I have no way, unless a help action helps, because
Tell me how. Pitch it.
As the matron says God, Isaac is thinking back to the little story that he made up for those kids outside of his parents' house. He'll put a hand on June's shoulder to get the help action, as he's also... He doesn't believe in this whole bond nonsense, but for some reason, June got a spectral hand, so it must be something going on there. So he's going to attempt to assist in binding the bonds.
That's cute.
June, go ahead and roll with advantage, please.
There we go. 28.
Yeah.
On a 28, you enter a little bit of a trance. You let your physical hand come to rest inside of your bond hand and feel a little circuit complete, grounding yourself in this living God. And you feel the bond connecting you to this space is channeled through the filigree of this room. So deep into the divine, there is no difference between connection and magic. And illuminated on the outside of this seed, you see that its wireframe is too intricate and knotted in a web of filigree. The very essence of this thing is magic. But there's something that you're not seeing through that first lens, and you sit and breathe and wait for it to come to you. And eventually, it comes into focus. 1,000,000,000,000 points of light. The bonds of everything, living and dead, converging gently at the edges of this thing. Whatever it is connected inexorably.
Can I... the matron said that it needs restoration. Can I see any part of it that's broken?
No.
Okay.
Could ask some questions about that if you wanted, but it doesn't seem to be damaged in any way.
Okay. I'll turn around to the matron and the rest of the party. This is connected to everything. Everything. But I don't see where it would need... what part of it needs restoring. Matron...
It needs restoring. It is connected to everything. Because it is the center of everything.
Could I do a survival check to go back through my memories of any kind of fable or story linked to this?
Go ahead and give me a survival check. And I believe this is going to be an advantage for your folktale ability.
27.
Harissa, as she says the center of everything, your grandmother's words. Long ago, before geckos climbed trees, a great forest grew at the center of the world. And at its center, a great central tree.
If this is what I think it is, I don't know how long ago. I don't know whether this is a cycle, this has happened before, or whether it is the same seed that has just been waiting all this time. I'll tell as much of the story as I know to everybody.
Is it reasonable to connect the visual description of the witness to the matron?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so when Harissa talks about this myth of this ancient sort of crystalline glass creature with sight beyond sight that has given one of the first, legendary quests to do an important thing, Guard is going to sort of turn to the matron, go past personal space again for a second, and peek behind
Nice.
the bone mask and pull back. Did you used to be called something else?
No.
Why does your face look like the face in Harissa's story and also the face in the paintings under Agravar of a big glass owl person?
And Guard, when you glance in, you see that it's just a chunk. It's like the left eye of an owl's face.
Did you used to be that?
No. This was given to me.
She was constructed.
Who was it given to you by?
The witness.
The witness gave you their face?
In part. The witness required help when the great central forest was sundered and split into the eastern and western wields. The world became too big to observe in full. And so the witness begat
Me, a manifestation of the universe's will. At first set to aid in observation. But action became required.
Protection became required.
In time, guidance. In places, protection. In others,
Guardians?
yes.
I just got chills, dude. Holy fuck. I just got chills.
Are you the first guardian?
Yes.
June's gonna smile real big.
So are you.
What do you mean?
You are me. We are inseparable.
I try to move away.
You do?
Are you sure?
Very.
Well, are there a lot of us?
An uncountable number of guardians have and do and will exist.
Are we connected in any way? Like with their magic bond?
She kind of straightens and then sinks back down, leaning on her knuckles. You ask many questions.
Well, you see, I don't remember anything from before I was in charge of Rally. And Rally was a job I was given by people, not by, like, our grandma.
And so you want to know where you come from.
Yeah.
You want to know who you are.
I think so.
You already do. We are a manifestation of the universe's will. Self-aimed and indefinitely propelled. And she starts moving over to the seed and begins to perform this extremely perfunctory, like, cleaning of the dais and just making sure that everything is just so. And all the while is continuing to talk to you. And all of you start to realize that you're not really sure where her voice is coming from. There is, like, the top part of a dragon's jaw, but much like every other guardian you've interacted with, it's kind of in your head, which gets a little disquieting when occasionally her voice splits 2 for 1 and fills both of your ears.
Surround sound.
Messing with the settings. Sorry. I'm sorry.
She turns her head and glints her glass eye at Guard. Your wish to know your place in the universe is mortal behavior. Mortals need to see themselves as individuals, as unique things that matter more or less than the next thing. It is in this relative way that they understand their place in the world. But you are not mortal. And she takes her finger and kind of dips it into a little pool of blood on the dais, and then stands up and lets it drop right in front of you. You are like a bead of water in the sea. Indistinct, boundless. You move up and down with the wave that is also you, and also me. So you ask me, where did I begin? Here. Right now. At the peak of this particular wave, upon which we are destined to collapse and rise again. And again. And again. My advice to you, little aimless one, is to never mind this human need to want to understand who you are only by understanding what you are not. Because you are what is needed to be. We both are. Hello, friends. It's Patrick, your friendly neighborhood milkman. Are those still a thing? No? Well, I guess I'm extinct. And speaking of extinct, I wanted to let you know that Arc 4 is drawing to a close. In like 3 or 4 episodes, we will be closing in on Arc 5, our final arc. But just to, delay the inevitable a little bit, we're going to be releasing a 3-episode bonus arc in between arcs 4 and 5. It's called Small Gods Scatter, and in it, Emily joins up with our old friend Nick Plaisance and our new friend Sadie Pasley to answer the big questions. What happened to the teen? Why didn't Jonathan intervene? Who is Pancakes? So, make sure you catch all 3 episodes of Small Gods Scatter before we head into our 5th and final arc. Guard, you have just been given a lot to think about, I think is a fair way to put that.
Guard looks to his friends who are sort of all standing around the seed looking at it. And then to the matron he says, "How long do you remember?"
What an odd question. What does it mean to remember?
I think it means to have information and experience that you can draw from. How far back can you do that?
Readily, since taking on this form. But with time and attention, connection to what is and what has been, I can, like all of you, draw on history to guide me.
Okay.
What did you say your name was?
My name is Guard.
And who gave you that name?
I don't know. I know that you said that it doesn't really matter, in the same way that it does for those guys, for the mortal guys, where we come from. But I spent a lot of time with them, and knowing where they come from, it's very hard sometimes, because sometimes it's not nice, but I think it gives them a lot of power. And when I think about what strength is, I think it's very tied to that. So maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe you're right. And maybe that is just a part of what it means for us to be not mortal. But I really like how important it is for the mortals. It seems like it's comforting. And I never felt like I needed that before. When I was working in Rally, I was just killing guys and opening and closing doors, and I didn't really have to think about things. But now that there's more complicated things, I think that comfort is good. So even if we don't have that, I don't know. I think it's good that they have that. And I'm a little jealous.
How very curious. Here you stand. Well, float. A reflection of the universe's will, capable of anything that you decide, and simply by deciding, right in that decision. And yet you yearn for constraint.
Is it constraint, though? I think it's curiosity. And Guard, it does matter. If you care about it, it does matter. And she'll kind of look at the matron.
The short one is not wrong.
I'm not that short.
I think we're all kind of the short one to this individual, to be honest.
If you care about it, then it matters.
But you have to understand, all I know is constraint. My earliest memories are the thing that I had to do. It wasn't the thing I chose to do.
It what? You had an objective.
Yeah.
That was not self-determined.
No, it was not at all. I had to protect Rally, and I had to protect the lumberjacks, and I had to make sure that they got the resin, and then I had to kill people that tried to stop them. And I didn't really care about that, but I did start to care a lot about some animals, but then I had to stop protecting them too.
You see in this implacable face a look of abject sunken horror. The thing that you just said happened to you, your lived existence, shouldn't be physically possible. And she is shaken. Gods in our world may guide us. Fucking Ganbald made me pull these two out of a hole in the wall not a couple of hours ago. She gestures over to Reedsy and Bartleby. But they cannot dictate what we do.
Well, the Blood Wardens can.
The what?
I don't know what they are, but that's what they're called.
That's who's after the seed.
What does that mean?
I don't know what it means, but I know that they are the ones that told me that I had to protect Raleigh for the Emperor.
The vines that you've been dealing with, those are the connection.
The infection.
Yes.
And one of them had a staff that could make me do stuff. But even before that, that was what I had. It was what I was.
Hey, boss. Boss, you want to show her the scepter that we took from its office? The high scepter?
Well, yeah, but it's really cool, and I want you to be able to keep it if you want to, and she might make you give it to her forever.
I mean, if it's gonna get you the information that you need, I already stole it, so, I don't need to keep it. It's really the stealing that I get off on.
Okay. If you're sure, I'll take the staff, and I'll be like, this. But this was more of an active tool. Even before then, like I said, it was my job.
Too fucking fast, her, crystalline fingers wrap around the hilt and yoink it away from you.
Oh, it's gone.
This pattern. I know this pattern. And she turns it around, and all of you are kind of starting to reckon with the fact that the filigree pattern on this scepter is not Tanine geometry or organic filigree. It is something different. It is something more mycelia, something more vein-like. A corruption. Interesting. Come with me. And she skitters up onto the ceiling and spider walks into another ventricle.
How the fuck?
That always will unsettle
Guard
me.
starts to float after her, and then looks back at everyone else 8 times very slowly.
There's just a hallway. You can just walk there. She's just being excessive.
She's a lot, isn't she? All right.
You all follow her into another darker room, and this room is just absolutely fucking full of bones.
I am getting very sick of this aesthetic.
She drops off of the ceiling and starts frantically rummaging through a pile of bones.
Oh, this is really unsettling.
And eventually pulls out a skeleton and hoists it up. And it is holding a two-handed, a Zweihander sword. And she wrenches it out of its hands, breaks all of the bones in the process, and lets the body drop to the ground. And she, again, just kind of walking on her knuckles, walks it over to you and forces it into Isaac's hands. Isaac being sort of head of the pack who can physically pick up objects here.
Oh, am I supposed to?
Like this.
Am I your Vanna White? All right. It's just.
Look, the pattern. Vines. And you see the whole sword intricately engraved with blood vine filigree. You speak of blood wardens. They bear a similar pattern. Perhaps it is relevant.
They made it so I had a will that wasn't mine, I guess. But I don't remember what it's like to not be that.
You should never have been able to be commanded in that way. You are a manifestation of will, not to be perverted by the perceived will of mortals. Something is very wrong here. Guard, when you clear your mind of your own recollections, are you able to see the wave in its totality?
The two little lines that represent Guard's eyes do that sort of anime blink where they just become two horizontal lines, and Guard just squeezes. All I can think about is that I'm trying to think about stuff.
Your connection to the universe's will has been severed. You are a pocket, powerful, malleable, dangerous. That is not supposed to happen.
Maybe that's how they placed you in that armor.
Armor?
I used to have a body. It was made of these ceramic plates that had filigree. and they were scribbled on them, and then it changed a little bit, and Mr. Spinks sometimes would draw faces on it to help me have faces.
She walks over to you while you're talking and starts like plucking at the bond that connects you to the world. And June, you're the only one who can see this.
Don't get him in knots. What are you doing?
Knots? What the?
I can fix this.
He's not broke. Well, nah, yeah.
I'm a little broken. I don't have a body.
I can fix this, but you will need a body.
A really tough one.
You must self-assemble, and then I can bring you back into the wave.
Will it change him?
We are changed every moment of existence.
I'm gonna turn to June. I want to change. I don't like feeling like this. I don't like feeling untethered. I don't like feeling like this isn't like that I'm like walking around in something that's not me, or that my mind isn't my mind. I even if I'm different, I want to change.
She'll put her spectral hand, her bond hand, gently on Guard's cheek, where she would think his cheek is. If that's what you want, I don't want you to feel like you have to be anything that anybody else is telling you you should be, or you should work a certain way.
The most important things when I was working for the Emperor was protecting Rally, and then it became protecting Rally, and then protecting you. And then when I started working for Demoiselle, the most important thing became kill the Emperor. But it still also was protecting you. And I don't know what's going to happen next, but I think that part, it will stay, because you're really important to me in, I think, whatever form I have. So I might be different, but I will still protect you.
And we'll protect you.
Also, I want to be able to hold my axe again and crush things.
Then you will need a particularly powerful body. I recommend that you begin to consider how you will self-assemble.
I will begin to consider. Guard says, knowing I have absolutely no idea what that means. Literally thinking about it.
Excuse me, Matron. Your will is to protect this seed. Our objective is also to help Jonathan. And I believe that we could possibly do both.
Slipping inexorably into the nether is certainly not helping. Jonathan is the world anchor. He is in the process of removing himself from the world, which will untether it from existence.
Whoa. Why do we have... What if we just move the seed? They're after the seed. They're corrupting Jonathan because...
Where could we put it that it would be safe?
Well, we could restore it. Find out how to restore it, and...
That would be the safest option.
During this time, while everyone's kind of deciding and talking amongst themselves, Sphinx is gonna sneak back into the room where the seed is. And he's going to along the floor, kind of up on his hind legs next to the seed. Hello? And he's put his ear kind of closer to the seed. Luna, is that you? Oh, once for yes, twice for no. Sphinx is going to touch the seed. He's going to put his hand on it. Does anything happen?
Yeah, Sphinx needs to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh! A 16?
Sphinx ages another 5 years.
Oh! I'm so glad I didn't touch it.
Do I notice anything with the seed?
The seed doesn't seem to sort of react or interact with that. There was not like a transference of life energy here. It is simply... You know what? I think out of 14, Spinks realizes that what happened here was not necessarily aging. It was decaying.
Okay, so now we kind of understand each other a little bit more. Like, you know, I'm a god too. I know what this probably feels like, being stuck, like, not being out in the world. Like, I've been in a Pokeball. I know what it's like. But can you tell me how to help you? That was a no. I feel like that was definitely a no. I'm gonna try and figure it out, because, you know, you deserve to be out of your egg. If we, say anything that you think would be, good, then, just give me that. Boom, boom. Do you need to be planted?
No response.
You don't know either, huh? Fair enough. Oh, would you like to be outside of Jonathan? You would? Okay. Alright. Do you know how we can carry you out without dying? No? Okay, fair enough.
And Spinks just comes, like, walking in and goes,
It's Luna in the seed.
Yes.
Oh, you knew already? Okay, sorry.
what, wait. So when they said Luna had been missing for so long...
It is not exactly Luna. Like all reincarnation, this next iteration will bear a different, unique identity. But much like your guardian friend and I, it will exist as part of an unbroken chain of great central trees. The Reclaimer.
But that means someone has been pretending to be Luna this entire time. All of these blood vines and this corruption, whenever we've encountered it, it keeps saying it's Luna.
The Myconids called it the blood vine golem.
Which means the Empressor has harnessed some kind of godlike power. So it's not a god that's corrupted and doing all these things. It is the Empressor who has corrupted these powers to do whatever they're trying to do.
Taking the identity of Luna.
Must be why they want the seat so bad.
Upheaving the literal life cycle of life and death, even literal existence thrown into chaos, and then trying to literally upheave the anchor of the world. I'm pretty sure the Empressor has some big plans. But the good news in all that is we found the wrench that could kind of mess up those plans, and he'll look over to the seat again. Just needs probably some water, some dirt, maybe sunlight. Being in the cave for over 60 years probably didn't help with the whole growth process. I mean, I've only been chopping down trees for a good 20 years. I don't know, you know.
Well, I kind of spoke to him. I had like a conversation with Luna, and they definitely want to be outside of Jonathan, but they don't know how they are restored. And don't touch them, because if you do, you decay. So we have to get it out without touching it.
What do you mean you decay?
Well, I touched it, and it was weird. It's like not quite growing old, but sort of just rotting almost, I guess. Kind of.
The Reclaimer reclaims.
Is that the same as the crystal guys that we fought?
No, feels different.
The crystal worms are guardians.
But they also were aging people.
Yes.
Is that the same?
It would be somewhat different. Perhaps a reflective aim at the same end. The crystal worms protect the seed.
Because if the crystal worms work the same way, then I could carry it. If I had hands.
And a body. You finished thinking that up?
Oh, yeah. Check it out. No, I didn't finish thinking it up. Isaac, you madman. Isaac, I've just been learning about my existence. I'm trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. This is the first guardian I've ever met that's talking to me. It isn't broken. We met Pancake's, but Pancake's brain is broken. This one can still talk. There's a lot going on for me right now, Isaac. Okay, I'm not used to all this. I just get to stand in the back and be quiet and smash stuff. This is different. Give me a second. Okay, fine. I'll go figure out what my body's going to be so we can get this seed out of here and I can figure out what I'm doing with my universe.
Before I let you move the seed, I will be brought into the plan. To take the seed out without knowing where it is going is certain failure for my objective.
I do agree. I think just moving it somewhere else for someone else to look after is not the answer here. We need to move it to restore it, not to hide it or protect it.
What grew the Emperzar's power? Why do people fear and or love the Emperzar? This is correct. The understanding is the Emperzar is omnipotent via what the actions that they've done. The Emperzar gained their power because
people thought they were powerful.
Exactly. Whereas the seed, in order for it to reclaim again, it needs to be known as a reclaiming seed, not just a seed.
I think Harris actually cuts in at this point and says, Isaac, you grew up in a world devoid of gods. It is not unreasonable for your first thought to be that the way a mortal imitates a god is tantamount to true divinity. We are in the presence. We are in the very essence of a real, living God. I do not think that belief is enough to create them. It may be necessary to sustain them. I am hardly a scholar in such things. Belief gives hope to people. It is a tool for mortals. The divine simply are.
But they all have a job.
Yes. But that job is not defined by mortals. It is defined by the natural world. It is defined by truth.
In the fable, it was all about finding the truth. It was a physical thing, and the witness used these truths to...
The shards of glass.
Yes. What if we need to try and find some kind of truth that is what needs to restore this thing? I don't know how or what that could be, but I think in that sort of like flash of a thought and something about the witness, Jonathan was around when that happened. He may know more about it. She's going to walk a little bit further away from everybody else, maybe go back into the little room where the seed is, just to be away. And she's going to get on her knees, sit back on her ankles, and just... I don't know if I need to ring another bell. Jonathan?
Harissa, you are petrified as your body ossifies into place. And we cut. You find yourself kneeling in a purple nothing. A space defined by its lack of characteristic in almost all conceivable ways. Empty, directionless, infinite.
Jonathan? Ah.
You turn around and are standing right next to his right eye.
Oh, I'd know those baby blues anywhere.
It is the size of your body, and it is set infinitely small against the muzzle of his rocky form.
I thought I told you that you had one chance to get this right.
Listen, we're still doing the chants, so...
You're running out of time.
We have found the seed in your heart. And we know the seed is...
there for a reason.
We know it's Luna, and Luna needs to be out of you. They've said themselves they need to be out of you to be able to be restored.
And how do you propose to do that?
That's why I'm here. They don't know how to be restored. We know we can take them somewhere if we need to, but we don't know what to do once we remove them from you.
And how is this any different from the time and again that I trusted you and your people?
That's what I want to ask about. You were here when my people fell. There is something about the truths, the witnesses' truths that helped restore Luna many, many, many years ago. Lifetimes, eons ago.
There is no truth.
Are there
There
none
is no
left?
truth beyond the folly of mortals.
Well, that in itself then is a truth. That mortals are folly. But there was something about the witness giving one of my ancestors, one of my family, a truth. Do you know anything about that?
She came to me. In her final moments, she asked me for help, and I told her what needed to be done. She took my shell and vanished. The blood tells me what is happening. It tells me that the shell has been stolen again, missing from the protection of the learner.
Gambald?
You disrespect me. You disrespect Shaida. You steal from the gods.
I have stolen nothing from you. I am trying to fix all that has happened, even things that are not my
You
fault.
gave the shell to the Myconids.
Me? The shell that I hunted when I was a girl? That's not your shell.
You see his eye kind of glosses over a blood red, and a little drop of blood runs down the crevice of his cheek, as if your words simply bounce off of his perception of things.
Oh no.
You are correct, by the way. From like a GM perspective, you did not give the relic shell to the Myconids. You gave just like an independent shell to the Myconids.
It was a turtle I ate.
It was a decoy. But the relic shell is missing, and he seems to have gotten told that it was your doing.
Right. I can assure you the shell that I gave to a Myconid was a mortal tortoise shell, not yours. But I will find the shell that is yours. If that is the truth, if that is what I need to do, I will do it.
And we cut back to the room that you are in, alone, kneeling in front of this altar to a god inside of the beating heart of another. And no one is in the room with you. So no one sees the bleeding tendril wrench its way through the wall of the heart just above Luna. And pulse. And pulse. As the infection spreads. I'm curious what the rest of you are doing.
Guard, partly because of being in this new form of like I'm formless and like not tethered, but also just due to
You
it
like water.
being a little bit, it's uncomfortable a little bit to feel this, and Guard is going to sort of just like pull back from the conversation, and he's going to find himself wandering over to the armor that the matron held up that had the old Tanine filigree carved into it.
So it's actually Krakow filigree.
The old Krakow filigree.
You walk over to the body of Paula, as she has been named, the skeleton, and you kind of go to interact with this armor, and you can kind of nudge it a little bit because it is very, very magical. And as you tap it, the filigree kind of illuminates. And you recall Big Paul telling you that his grandmother had armor that could adapt and shift to different sizes as she would invoke magic to become large or small. This is probably that, right? Like, there's no way that there was a Krakow woman wearing magical armor named Paula, and she's not Big Paul's grandmother, right? There's no way that lines up.
What I understand about my existence is that in order for me to find a vessel, it needs to be made to hold my energy. And I don't know if this filigree will work because it's different. It's not the same. It's got a different look to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my ethereal hand and just very gently push against the armor and try to push into it just with my hand to see what happens, to see if I can even do that.
You do. You sort of phase through it, and as you do, you feel yourself start to disperse into it.
I turn to my allies, and I'm going to lean into that feeling and allow myself to be as dispersed into it as I can be and see what happens.
You fill this chassis, this chest plate, and settle into the space, but somewhat quickly realize, like, hey, like, you don't have limbs. So you are kind of just looking out from this thing, and you feel that it is magical, right? Like, it is a suitable start, but you are overcome by a sense of limit, a sense of helplessness, as you are unable to, like, make it do anything.
I look to my allies and I say, guys, look, I found a new body. And with all of my strength, I make the armor fall over. Look! And I make it fall over again.
As that happens, I think Isaac would just go, okay, progress. We're heading in a direction. We are a ragtag bunch, ain't we? Mr. Spinks, how's Safra doing?
I'll have to go check.
June, you have the highest passive perception, so as Spinks kind of waddles off to go check on Safra, you see movement in the furthest ventricle. So there's another room that's just past where you currently are that is kind of in total darkness. You see some movement.
Can I go check it out?
You walk into that room, and it's very, very dark. More of kind of the same, right? Like, it is pulsing in rhythm with the other rooms, but bones, viscera, a little bit of wood, some cracked bows, some old stuff. It just seems like Matron kind of drags stuff in here to have tools as needed. A little bit.
Craft hoarder. I know the type.
Are you, how cautiously are you proceeding?
I'm pretty cautious. I'm gonna go ahead and, yeah, I'd like to stealth up. That was almost a 1. It's a 22.
Ooh, nice. Oh, shit. A 22 is very good. You are not seen by 2 myconids that are currently stepping out of an open bloodvine tunnel. Do you still have rapport spores up? I think you probably do from Bartleby, right?
Yeah,
if you guys are comfortable, Bartleby's doing that all the time.
Okay. You hear them say, I think this might be it. Yeah, no shit, they said get to the heart. Look at it. Fucking gross ass place. All right, let's just get the seed and get the fuck out of here, eh?
I'm gonna slowly creep back out, and I'm gonna wave over at the rest of the party, and she's gonna like tap her wrist and put up 2 fingers and then point and then put her finger over
2 syllables.
her lips.
Movie.
1 word.
All of those things, Isaac, you actually do recognize as genuine warden
we've
speak.
done that, yes.
And so, usually that's you and Safra, but that June picked up a little bit. And so you know that there are 2 enemies in the far room, and they don't know you're here yet.
Isaac takes out his axe. He looks to the matron. You expecting any?
She shakes her head no. You could start approaching. Go ahead and roll me stealth. And
Actually, Isaac should sit still, but
it's up to you. It's up to you. You can stay put. You are between them and the seed by a full room. So like you can be at a choke point here if you want.
I'm here to help, Isaac.
okay.
As you see armor start inchworming.
Guard, Bartleby kind of leans down to you and says, I think they might be mechanids.
Do you want to try to talk to them?
I mean, I'm happy to try. It's been a long time since I talked to any of them, but I'm happy to try.
Why don't you try not talking to them? Why don't you try communing with them? Do the thing that you guys do where you like share brains?
What should I communicate?
I'm going to leave the armor so that he can see me, and I'm going to put my hands on his head, and I'm going to say, communicate whatever you think is right. I trust you, Bartleby. I have trained you well.
All right.
And you have learned much.
Okay.
But you also have much that you can add to the conversation. I'm not going to tell you what to say. All I'm going to say is follow your heart.
Cinder, go ahead and roll me a. I'm gonna have you roll a persuasion check here with your charisma. And do you have proficiency in persuasion?
I do.
And with your proficiency bonus as well.
I don't normally, but I do in this form. That's quite good.
What'd you roll?
That's crazy. 18 plus 5, 23. That's the highest I think Guard will ever roll on a charisma check for the whole game.
That's really good. You don't see what happens. You just see Bartleby go quiet for a moment and then come back to you and say, I think to listen. If you want to have a conversation, I shared with them the feeling of earnest attempt to help and how at odds that is with what we've been told to do about the seed.
Okay, well, maybe we should tell everybody before Isaac kills them with an axe.
Oh, yeah, that would be a good idea. Yeah, we should probably go. Isaac!
Chop
Isaac!
motions, right?
I know we're stealthing, but now we're all yelling.
Just going,
Wait.
You all, except for Harissa and Spink, see the 2 myconids kind of walk into the space with their hands raised up. We're willing to hear you all out. You've got one of us with you, I think.
This is Bartleby.
Weird to have a human name. Hi, Bartleby.
Only if you want.
it's an option.
So, getting the seed is bad, actually?
Yes, Ken. Getting the seed is bad.
And why do you say that it is bad? What do you propose we do instead, huh?
Well, Tyler, I think you should just
I don't think you're supposed
leave
to.
it be and let us handle it.
Do you like the thing that makes you go through these portals and get stuff? Do you like it?
Not really. It's more of a relationship of convenience, huh?
Because Bartleby made it sound like it was a little scary.
Yeah, you see the smaller one go, yeah, that relationship of convenience has kind of become a relationship of threat of bodily harm.
Annihilation, if you will.
Yeah.
Well, we want to take the thing that's supposed to have the power of the thing that scares you and give it that power back so that you could still be friends with it, but maybe the new one won't be scary.
I don't know what the hell that means, like from a practical sort of next steps perspective, but
I think
sounds
it
fine
means that if there's a person in a room and they say, I'll give you 1,000,000 superpowers, but I'm also scary, maybe there'll be a new person in the room that's like, I'll give you 1,000,000 superpowers, but I'm less scary.
Sounds pretty good to me, huh? Yeah, I think it sounds pretty good. So what do you want us to do then, boss? You want us to just, like, hightail
Kill
it
our
back?
enemies.
Oh, peel it back a bit.
Oh, sorry. I don't actually know. What do we want them to do?
Why not give us passive?
They can't do that.
They can't let us go through
the tunnel is still open. We could go.
Oh,
we can go now if you want.
Where y'all from?
Well, we're coming in
Where
here
y'all stay
from
at?
just outside the bathhouse, huh?
Do I? This is a stretch. When I see these tunnels, does Isaac feel as though he could hijack it?
Hey, Isaac, where's that sword?
It's in my hand. I was gonna chop one of y'all with the axe now and then leave it in you, and then you were gonna think, oh, he doesn't have his weapon. Then I was gonna hit you with this son bitch, and I pull out the great sword.
You pull out that great sword, Isaac. You pull out that great sword, and the veins in your hand burst through your skin and fuse to it.
Gross.
How does it feel?
Powerful. You do feel like you could command this tunnel. As a matter of fact, you feel like you could cut open one of these tunnels.
Shit the bed.
I think back to the bathhouse. I think back to the time where Safra was attempting to flirt with.
Why'd you gotta think about
Ariel.
that, Isaac?
I think back to when June was awkwardly courting with Melmanon. I think
Cute.
back to when Guard was, just he sounded anew, kind of different. And I take in all those memories. I think back to Demoiselle and Melmanon.
Yeah.
And then I take the blade. I say, sorry, Jonathan. And I stab it into the ground and just start cutting.
Ugh.
Two things happen in very quick succession. The first thing that happens is that this blade glows black and sinks effortlessly into Jonathan's heart, wrenching it open and filling quickly with blood vines that create a tunnel to the bathhouse. And you stare down, you are like looking into the hot tub where you hung out with Cletus.
Oh,
walrus.
Cletus! Yeah!
Cletus!
With the grapes on the shield.
And as you are staring down into this pool of water, the rest of you see blood vines whip out of the other tunnel, the tunnel in the back wall of this ventricle, grab both of these myconids, kill them outright,
Oh, shit.
and then suck them back into the tunnel.
Ken, Tyler, no!
Such short lives!
And I need everyone to roll initiative.